What up, everybody? Welcome into the podcast. My name is Bryce Lockridge. I am your host of Crushing Fantasy Football. It's good to be back, guys. Today I'm going to be getting at you with my quarterback rankings, and we're going to be doing top 12. The only reason I'm doing top 12 and not going deeper is because, well, I really think you need to take one of these 12 guys in your drafts, and if you're missing out on them, it's really a bad strategy. You need one of the top quarterbacks. They score so many points these days in fantasy, and they're so polarizing. You need to draft one of these guys. I'm going to be giving you my top 12. And I'm going to start right here with the first player on my list, and that's Josh Allen. He should easily be the number one quarterback off the board. He's been the best player in fantasy at any position over the past 5 seasons. Gives you elite rushing upside, elite passing upside. They just added an elite wide receiver one in DJ Moore. This is a no-brainer. You're drafting Josh Allen as the number one quarterback off of the board this season, and don't even think about it. Just do it. Next player on my list is going to be Joe Burrow. Now, Joe Burrow goes into any season as a top MVP candidate. He has arguably the best wide receiver duo in the NFL, and T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. This guy is going to absolutely explode this year. If both these guys stay healthy, he could easily be the quarterback one. He has the upside to pass for 5,000 yards and throw for 40 touchdowns. I mean, the upside for Joe Burrow is absolutely insane. He could be the quarterback one quite easily. I have him as my number 2 going into this season. Next player on my list is going to be Dak Prescott. Now, Dak Prescott's going way higher in my rankings than anybody else's. But look, just 2 seasons ago, he was the quarterback 3 in all of fantasy. Right? And he did that before he had George Pickens. And if you watch the Cowboys last year, from the eye test, Dak Prescott played the best football of his life. It's just that his wide receiver room was banged up a little bit. So that kind of knocked his numbers back a little bit from what they normally would be. But with this wide receiver duo, which is, in my opinion, the best wide receiver duo in the entire league, well, Dak Prescott, he's going to explode this season. Look for him to pass for around 4,000 yards. Put up a bunch of touchdowns. This is the number 2 projected overall offense in the NFL. Dak's going to explode. I don't care what consensus says. He is going to finish as the number 3 quarterback. I think there's a very high likelihood of that. Next player on my list is going to be Lamar Jackson. Now, Lamar Jackson doesn't have quite the passing weapons that Joe Burrow or Dak Prescott have. That's why I have him a little bit lower, but it is Lamar Jackson at the end of the day. Doesn't really need that super alpha wide receiver one to be elite. The dude's going to put up crazy passing numbers no matter what. He gives you good rushing upside, not quite the rushing upside that he used to, and they don't call as many designed runs for him within the goal line. So due to the fact that, he doesn't have quite the passing weapons as some other quarterbacks in the league and doesn't have quite the rushing upside that he used to, not due to lack of talent, but just due to different play calling. I knocked him down a little bit, but it's Lamar Jackson. He has the upside to finish as a quarterback one, so I got to have him really high. Next player on my list is going to be Jayden Daniels. This is a guy who, you saw his rookie season. The dude just absolutely lit the league on fire. He's an absolute monster. Gives you that prime Lamar Jackson rushing upside where in any given week, he could rush for over 100 yards and get multiple rushing touchdowns. The dude has an elite wide receiver one in Terry McLaurin to throw the ball to. They absolutely went off in Jayden Daniels' first season. Jayden Daniels was pretty much hurt all last year. Look for the offense to return to form. This could be a very good NFL offense, and Jayden Daniels could easily be a top 5 quarterback. Next player on my list is going to be Jalen Hurts. Now, I knocked Jalen Hurts down from what I normally would because they got rid of A.J. Brown, so he doesn't have his mega alpha wide receiver one anymore. But he gives you incredible rushing upside. They're going to call more designed run plays for him within the 5-yard line than they will for any other quarterback in the NFL, maybe besides Josh Allen. And whenever they get on the 1 or 2 yard line, it's automatic tush-push season. And, well, he's just going to be scoring touchdowns like crazy. He still has Devontae Smith. That's a very good receiver to throw the ball to. They added, Mekhi Lemon, Dontavian Wicks. This is going to be an offense that's pretty good. So the passing numbers will be decent as well. Next player on my list is going to be Drake May. Now, obviously, they added A.J. Brown, so the argument could be that you need to take Drake May higher. It's just that there's so many elite quarterbacks in this league. It's just hard to really put everyone on top. I mean, I can't do it. I can't put them ahead of the guys that I have ahead of them. But they added A.J. Brown. You know that Drake May gives you a dual threat. He gives you pretty good rushing upside. They added A.J. Brown, so, this offense could be very, very good this season. Keyshawn Boutte looks very good in training camp. I mean, this is a dynamic wide receiver room. If he finishes higher than the quarterback 7, it makes me look like a fool. That is totally a possibility, but I just couldn't put these other guys ahead of him. Next player on my list is going to be Caleb Williams. Now, the Bears offense was absolutely elite last year, and they have Colston Loveland. DeAndre Swift, who can catch some passes, right? Roma Dunze, Luther Burden. This is a very stacked offense. They have an awesome Week 17 matchup. So for best ball purposes, Caleb Williams is absolutely awesome. I love this guy to explode this year. Doesn't give you the rushing upside that the super elite quarterbacks have, guys like Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen. But, he's just going to pass for so many freaking yards this year. Next player on my list is going to be Patrick Mahomes. Now, Patrick Mahomes being ninth is wild to me. This is still, from a talent standpoint, in my opinion, by far the best quarterback in the NFL. But the offense just hasn't been shown to cut loose in the previous seasons. And I don't know what it is, but they just have this conservative play calling where they're not throwing the ball down the field as much, limiting big playability for Patrick Mahomes. So, just based on what we've seen in our recent seasons, I'm knocking him down a little bit from where I would normally have him ranked. But don't get it twisted. This guy could come out and be the best quarterback in fantasy. It's Patrick Mahomes. He has that upside. He has Rashee Rice. He has Xavier Worthy. And then old, reliable Travis Kelce. This could be a very good NFL quarterback. This could be a very good NFL offense. And in any given season, he's an MVP candidate going into the year. The dude could absolutely explode, so I have to have him top 10. Next player on my list is going to be Justin Herbert. Now, this is one of the more talented quarterbacks in the NFL. From a talent standpoint, probably top 5 overall. And he's got some weapons. Ladd McConkey and Quentin Johnson are two very viable pass catchers. They added David Njoku. They have an awesome tight end duo there. So if this offense just absolutely exploded this year, I wouldn't be surprised. Look for Amarian Hampton to help them matriculate the ball down the field. And, well, what that's going to do is it's going to create more touchdown passing upside for Justin Herbert. He does have some rushing upside as well. So I like Justin Herbert to have a really good season. He's in my top 10. Next player on my list is going to be Trevor Lawrence. Now, Trevor Lawrence had a few really explosive games towards the end of the season last year. He's got a wide receiver room with all kinds of talent with Parker Washington, Brian Thomas Jr., Jacoby Myers. He's got a lot of weapons to pass the ball to. Pretty good pass-catching tight end as well, in Brenton Strange. So I like this offense to be pretty darn good this year. All the, advanced analytics guys coming out and saying that he could be the quarterback one are a little bit crazy, in my opinion. But he does have the upside to – there's a range of outcomes where he does finish top 5 overall. So I got to have him in my top 12. Next player on my list is going to be Matthew Stafford. Now, Matthew Stafford, from a talent standpoint, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. He's got what's, in my opinion, the second best wide receiver duo in the NFL in Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. They're just so reliable, those wide receivers. Puka Nacua is going to get 11, 12 targets a game. His connection with Matthew Stafford's unbelievable. They literally complete about 85% of the passes. When Matt Stafford throws the ball to Puka Nacua, the reception percentage as far as, how often he catches the ball when it's thrown his way is extremely high. Devontae Adams is the touchdown merchant on the team that also, always helps the team get in the end zone when they're within the 5-yard line. They're going to be throwing for a crazy amount of passing touchdowns this year. And this is the number 1 overall projected offense in the NFL. So to not have their quarterback in the top 12 is wild to me. All right, guys, hope these rankings help. Catch you later.